Behind the glamour of the Hilton empire lies a story of ruthless ambition, scandalous deals, and unimaginable sacrifices. How did one man's vision reshape the world at such a hidden cost? Stay with us, because the truth is more shocking than you think. Conrad Hilton's dirty deals, the hidden costs of a global empire. What if I told you the glamorous Hilton hotel empire, the epitome of luxury and sophistication, was built on a foundation of cutthroat tactics, scandalous deals, and unimaginable sacrifices? By the end of this video, you'll uncover the shocking truths behind Conrad Hilton's rise to power and the hidden costs that followed. Stay with us, because what you're about to learn could change the way you see ambition and success forever. Have you ever wondered how one man, born in a dusty New Mexico town, managed to redefine the hotel industry and carve his name into the annals of American business history? Conrad Hilton wasn't just a dreamer, he was a relentless businessman with a vision. But what the history books often leave out are the ruthless decisions, the scandals, and the dirty deals that fueled his ascent. Today we'll dive deep into Conrad Hilton's journey, peeling back the layers of his early life, the calculated risks he took, and the price he and others paid to create his global empire. So buckle up, because this story is as much about ambition as it is about the dark side of success. Imagine the year is 1887, and Conrad Hilton is born in the small town of San Antonio, New Mexico. His father, a Norwegian immigrant, owned a modest general store. From a young age, Conrad was immersed in the day-to-day challenges of running a business. He spent countless hours observing his father negotiate deals and manage inventory, absorbing lessons about hard work and persistence. But life in this remote desert town was far from easy. The Hiltons weren't wealthy, and financial struggles were a constant presence. Despite these hardships, Conrad's parents emphasized the value of education and ambition. His mother, Mary Hilton, often reminded him of the importance of faith and perseverance, planting the seeds of the relentless drive that would define his life. It wasn't long before Conrad's entrepreneurial spirit began to emerge. As a teenager, Conrad took on increasing responsibilities at the family store. Whether it was haggling with customers or managing the books, he demonstrated an early knack for leadership and problem-solving. Yet the more he worked, the more he realized that he wanted something bigger. The small-town life with its limited opportunities couldn't satisfy his growing ambition. This ambition was further fueled by the economic conditions of the time. The late 19th century was a period of rapid industrial growth in the United States, with opportunities sprouting in sectors like railroads, steel, and finance. Conrad couldn't help but dream of being part of this transformation. He devoured stories of self-made men who rose from humble beginnings to achieve great wealth and influence. Figures like Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller became his idols, and he began to see the hotel industry as his ticket to the big leagues. But there was one pivotal moment that crystallized Conrad's ambitions. In 1907, the Hilton family faced a financial crisis that forced them to consider selling the store. This brush with economic ruin left an indelible mark on Conrad. He resolved never to be at the mercy of financial hardship again. That year, he made a promise to himself. He would build an empire so vast that it could weather any storm. How did a boy from a struggling family in New Mexico end up controlling one of the world's most famous hotel chains? And what deals did he strike along the way? Conrad's first taste of real opportunity came in the 1910s during World War I. He served in the U.S. Army, where he honed his leadership skills and built valuable relationships with influential figures. The discipline and strategic thinking he developed during his service would later prove crucial in his business ventures. After the war, Conrad returned to New Mexico, eager to begin building his fortune. Initially, Hilton planned to enter the banking industry. His family's store had given him a foundation in finance, and banking seemed like a logical next step. He partnered with local investors and prepared to launch his own bank. But fate had other plans. A last-minute collapse of the deal left Conrad scrambling to find a new opportunity. His failure in banking turned out to be a blessing in disguise. as it pushed him toward the hotel business, an industry he had barely considered before. In 1919, Conrad purchased his first property, the Mobley Hotel in Cisco, Texas. The hotel wasn't glamorous, far from the luxury associated with the Hilton name today. Its primary clientele were oil workers passing through the area. However, Conrad saw potential where others saw mediocrity. He realized that while the hotel wasn't a five-star establishment, its location near the booming oil fields made it a profitable venture. To finance the Mobley purchase, Hilton borrowed heavily, convincing investors with promises of high returns. The pressure to succeed was immense, and this marked the beginning of a pattern that would define his career, taking bold risks and pushing boundaries. To make the Mobley profitable, Conrad implemented strict cost-cutting measures. He renegotiated supplier contracts to squeeze every penny of savings and slashed employee wages, decisions that earned him a reputation for being both shrewd and ruthless. The Mobley Hotel became a resounding success. Hilton quickly optimized operations by converting its dining room into additional guest rooms, maximizing revenue from every inch of the property. But the success came at a cost. Employees resented the wage cuts, and tensions ran high among staff. Hilton's aggressive tactics also strained relationships with local suppliers, some of whom refused to work with him again. Despite these challenges, the Mobley provided Conrad with the foundation he needed to expand his ambitions. He reinvested the profits into acquiring more properties, setting the stage for his burgeoning empire. Yet, even at this early stage, it was clear that Conrad Hilton's pursuit of success would not be without sacrifices. This was just the beginning of Conrad's controversial business tactics. But what lengths would he go to as his ambitions grew? By the 1930s, Hilton's ambitions had skyrocketed. The Great Depression was wreaking havoc on the economy, but where others saw despair, Conrad saw opportunity. Hilton's strategy was simple yet audacious: acquire struggling hotels at bargain prices and turn them into profitable ventures. While this approach brought him success, it also earned him a reputation for being aggressive and, at times, unscrupulous. One of Hilton's early acquisitions during this time was a string of hotels in Texas. Facing financial difficulties, many hotel owners were desperate to sell, and Hilton didn't shy away from exploiting their vulnerabilities. He was known to drive hard bargains, often offering rock-bottom prices and demanding favorable terms. Some saw this as shrewd business acumen, others viewed it as predatory behavior. Hilton's most ambitious move came when he set his sights on New York City and the Waldorf Astoria, one of the most iconic hotels in the world. The deal to acquire the Waldorf wasn't just about money, it was a chess game of influence and strategy. Behind the scenes, Hilton used his connections in politics and finance to secure favorable conditions. Rumors swirled that he exploited insider information to outmaneuver competitors. While such claims were never proven, the whispers of backdoor negotiations and ethically questionable tactics cast a shadow over the acquisition. Even after securing the Waldorf, Hilton didn't rest. He immediately implemented sweeping changes, many of which were aimed at maximizing profits. Employees faced stricter working conditions, and luxury services were restructured to appeal to high-paying clientele. While these measures boosted the hotel's profitability, they also fueled discontent among staff and longtime patrons who felt the soul of the Waldorf was being sacrificed for the sake of Hilton's bottom line. Hilton's relentless expansion wasn't limited to the United States. By the late 1930s, he began eyeing international markets. His aggressive tactics continued as he negotiated deals in Europe and beyond. Many of these negotiations involved leveraging political and economic instability in war-torn regions to secure properties at discounted rates. While this strategy allowed Hilton to expand rapidly, it also deepened the perception that his empire was built on opportunism as much as innovation. Despite the controversies, Hilton's empire continued to grow, and his name became synonymous with luxury and success. But beneath the glitz and glamour lay a trail of broken partnerships, disgruntled employees, and accusations of unethical behavior. As Hilton's empire expanded, so did the rumors of corruption and betrayal. But what was the ultimate price of his relentless ambition? Conrad Hilton's success wasn't just measured in profits, it came with a significant human cost. His relentless drive to expand often placed enormous pressure on his employees. Hilton's aggressive cost-cutting measures translated to long hours for minimal pay, pushing many workers to their limits. Labor disputes became increasingly common, and his reputation as a tough, no-nonsense employer earned him both respect and resentment in equal measure. For small hotel owners, Hilton was a force to be reckoned with. His relentless expansion strategy often spelled doom for local competitors. Those unable to match his economies of scale or access to capital found themselves driven out of business. For these smaller operators, Hilton's rise wasn't just an inspiration, it was a cautionary tale of what happens when the little guy crosses paths with a corporate juggernaut. But the human cost of Hilton's ambition extended beyond business. His personal life was also deeply affected by his unrelenting pursuit of success. Hilton's first marriage to Mary Barron ended in a high-profile divorce in 1934. Barron cited his obsession with work and his increasingly distant demeanor as key reasons for their separation. Hilton himself later admitted that his focus on building his empire had come at the expense of his family life. Hilton's children experienced both the privilege and the pain of growing up in the shadow of their father's towering ambitions. While he was a loving father in many respects, his relentless work ethic often left little room for meaningful connections. His son, Baron Hilton, who would eventually take over the family business, once remarked that his father's intense drive was both a blessing and a burden. As Hilton's empire grew, so did the public scrutiny. His business practices, while undeniably effective, were often criticized as overly ruthless. Stories began to surface about deals that left former partners out in the cold, employees feeling undervalued, and competitors accusing him of monopolistic behavior. Yet, Hilton remained unapologetic. In his eyes, these sacrifices were the price of progress, and he firmly believed that the ends justified the means. Despite the personal and professional turmoil, Hilton's story is one of perseverance. He weathered scandals, market crashes, and personal setbacks to build an empire that redefined the hospitality industry. But as we reflect on his legacy, we are left to grapple with an important question. Can the cost of such relentless ambition ever truly be justified? Despite the sacrifices, Hilton's legacy continued to grow. But was it worth it? And what lessons can we take from his story? By the time of his death in 1979, Conrad Hilton had built one of the most recognizable hotel brands in the world. His story is one of ambition, innovation, and resilience, but also one of controversy and moral compromise. The hidden costs of Hilton's empire serve as a cautionary tale. They remind us that success often comes with difficult choices and unintended consequences. Yet his story also offers inspiration, the power of vision, the importance of adaptability, and the drive to persevere against all odds. So what can we learn from Conrad Hilton? Perhaps the greatest takeaway is this. Ambition is a double-edged sword. It can drive us to achieve greatness, but if unchecked, it can leave a trail of broken promises and regrets. And if you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments. What do you think is the true cost of success? And whose story should we uncover next? Thanks for joining us on this journey through the lives of the world's most influential business icons. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another deep dive into the minds behind the empires. Who should we cover next? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, keep chasing your vision and building your legacy.